Alrighty, let's see if we get this stream running. Hopefully we won't get too many drop frames. Nothing yet. 20 seconds in, so we might have a chance. Put this over here. Okay, what else do we need to shift? It's alright. Stream seems okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, we're actually getting the posted rate. What a nice change. Still the wrong mouse, naturally. Got a cough. Yep, not good. Tickle in the throat. Come on. Where is everybody? Probably everybody's got a life. Nobody's here. How am I going to gripe about my microscope situation? Oh wow, this is bad. Better get some gloves on anyway. Probably got a case where it's way too early for those in Europe, way too late for those in the United States. And since Jessa didn't give us a biochemistry stream today, we're all a bit bored. Wow. Well, hopefully this will pick up in due time. Anyway, I've got a Toshiba here that's come in, and basically the person says as soon as I try to start it, it shuts down. I guess we'll see how close to truth that is. It's a nice 17-inch Toshiba. I seem to be running into a few of those lately. We've got this shutting down business. What's going on? Come on. Are you really shutting down? I don't think you are. I think you're doing something else. Probably got a crapped out hard drive. I'm gonna drown you. Are you drowned? I think you're drowned. Okay, let's try that. With an F12 start. Come on. Okay, let's boot from the USB stick. And what we're going to do is we're going to see what the temperatures and the hard drive are like. I've also got my new camera holder. I can't really show it, but it needs some modifications, but it seems like it'll do the trick. I do need to still make a bit of a stand for it to sit on better, get a bit of a better angle. Did you just shut down on me? No, you're still booting. I hope. Yeah, the USB stick's flashing. Yeah, flashing away. Hopefully it'll come up soon. I've just noticed the camera is on autofocus. It's no good, can't trust that. Alright, that's off autofocus, that's good. Come on, boot. Boot, you little so-and-so. Nope. Nothing on the screen. All three lights are on. What do you guys represent? Wi-Fi, charge and power state. I guess there's no hard drive status on the front. I'm really not a fan of this trend where they take away the hard drive light on these. Hey Neutron, V-Core, yeah, maybe. And it is using the NVIDIA chipset. But it was showing up before. But I guess we'll see. Yeah, that's definitely not common. I'm gonna have to find my fail-safe boot stick. Hey TCRS! Oh, I can't seem to find my fail-safe USB stick. Let's try this one. Yeah, I mean, see, we get the normal boot up. Now Windows is crud. Okay. Alright, take care, Neutron. Get rich and leave the man. Or just leave the man. That's what the rest of us do. But then we live in poverty for a while. Oh, this is booting. What the hell's going on? Yeah, TCRS, I'll make sure I check every single one of the millions of capacitors on this laptop. Come on. If this boots, I'll lose my Nana. Although there must be some sort of problem. Although it could have been just a bad update. Maybe it was trying to do an update, they killed the power, or the battery power ran out or something, I don't know. We'll find out. It has been rather slow, I must say. So while it's doing that, I'll toothbrush away the dust in corners. Come on, get out of there. Because customers don't take any notice of that stuff. It could still be a GPU problem, potentially. Particularly if it starts up with the Intel chipset and then switches over to the GeForce one. That'd be hilarious. Yeah, what's the deal with taking away the hard drive activity light? Seriously. They give us two useless lights. Like, oh, let's put Wi-Fi light on. That's no good. Yep, there goes. Oh, here we go. No, we're good. Battery's a tad shite. What's going on there? Ah, gee. Shut down. Oh, come on, TCRS. Where's your sense of adventure? You should just quit. Live off 2-minute noodles for a couple of years. Because you got to be careful if you do things concurrently under your current employer, because they can sometimes want to come back and take a slice of whatever you did while you were working under their capacity, even if you did it outside of business hours. Stop that. Well, I think I'm gonna have to do the shift restart. I actually don't know what it's got at the moment because I haven't even gotten into my Ubuntu stick to find out. What am I using that for? That's why you don't tell them. That's all good until you until you strike gold, and then they're going to be kind of like, oh, when did you exactly do this? And then you get your butt dragged through court for a few 100 years. Oh, for God's sake, you got to be kidding me. I hate it when you get these machines that don't want to... Thank you. They just keep jumping around and around. Advanced. System config. Oh, it's on CSM boot. So here we go. Normally I have a USB stick here that is sysrescue for situations where I can't get into graphical mode with my normal USB stick. Oh, this is booted just fine. Okay, let's see if it's... No. Well, it's definitely got an Intel graphics, and weird, it's not... Oh yeah, there it is. 3D controller, NVIDIA GK208. It's a GeForce 740. Alright. Let's run the DD rescue on this. And see what happens. Fully independent, unauthorized repair. Yeah, that's going to become our sort of like signature thing. It's like, do you want crappy authorized or do you want good quality unauthorized? Really not sure what to think of what's going on here yet. And that went in for a 3-pointer with the gloves. Well, I haven't seen any artifacts. The only thing is it was just looping. Hey, Patrick Gill. I'm just going to sit here. And this gives me... well, TCRS, can you tell me if there's been any updates on my package? Because I'm not near a machine that has that. Or maybe I am, actually. Not sure if... Is it tracking? Oh, it is. It's on this one as well. Hey, Dave. Let me see. As we all prepare to suffer the wrath of me not getting my microscope. Oh, for flip's sake, it's still not anywhere. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Okay, let's have some fun here. window capture. Alrighty, let's while we're waiting, let's talk about how I'm raging here. I'm gonna have to shrink this up a bit. Can you shrink? Tell me you can shrink. That'll do. Oh, Patrick, oh, that's good. Which workstation did you get? Oh, and your cleaner still hasn't left Bloomington. Blimey hell. Oh, well. Anyway, for those of you who are following the microscope situation, it was ordered on the 23rd. It was sent out by Amscope on the 24th. So I was all very happy. I was like, yippee-yi-yay. So this here, like it's all ready, it gets picked up. It jumps over to Ontario. And then from Ontario, it very quickly, this is all in 2 days, heads off to Honolulu. And then from there, only another day later, obviously, it ends up in Botany, Australia. Now, for those of you who don't know Australia very well, Botany is effectively Sydney. For whatever reason, they've chosen to call this landing site Botany anyway. So it arrives, 10 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night, that's fair enough. And then first thing in the morning, it's like departure, which is great. I'm thinking, beautiful, it's well and truly on its way. And so it gets to Brisbane. Now, Brisbane is the capital of Queensland, and that is about 1,200, 1,300 kilometres south of me. And I'm still in Queensland, the state that, all the states in Australia, well, most of the states in Australia are fairly large. So anyway, so this is Friday the 28th, 8 o'clock in the morning, it's in Brisbane. And I thought, well, that's pretty good. Most of the time there are perhaps a dozen flights every day coming from Brisbane up to Townsville, and I thought one of them will take this because this is an expedited delivery. And nothing happens. And Saturday comes and goes, and nothing happens. Then finally, Sunday night, all of a sudden, it's departing again, but from Botany. So somehow or another, the bloody thing has gone from Brisbane, shuttled back down to Botany, and has another departure. And lo and behold, the next morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, it turns up in Brisbane again. And arrives, and then it's scanned back in at 8 o'clock in the morning, which is this morning. So was it? No, not this morning, yesterday morning. And then last night, finally, at 10:30, it departs from Brisbane again. So I don't know. And now I haven't heard anything of it. So I'm suspecting what they've done is they've trucked that thing, given that it's 60 pounds, they're trucking it up to me. Up to Townsville was the next stop. Now, typically with the trucks, it takes 14 hours to make that trip, maybe 16 hours. So it should be turning up in Townsville, I hope, fingers crossed, by now. If they'd trucked it back down to Sydney or Botany, it would have already shown up by now, because that's a shorter trip by about 400 kilometres. So it would have been there. They misscanned it in Brisbane. It was never there in the first place. Yeah, right, sure, maybe. I don't know. And I'm still waiting for a phone call from them because I raged on Twitter and got into their service place. And they said, oh, but the real problem we've got here is this little bit of info here. It says scheduled to be delivered by next Monday. And by fair right, they're going to make it by then, that's for sure. But the thing is, it's not a realistic end scheduled date. The reason why they've done that is because they probably don't get a lot of traffic or packages of that size coming from California to land into this town. If I had set my sending address, or address to send it to rather, to Townsville, that delivery date would have been today, because they would have enough data and whatnot, experience to know that the packages should get there by today at the very latest. So because they didn't really know this particular town, they've just gone for a default 2-week type situation. So yeah, so whenever I try to contact them, say, look, you're well over schedule already. They're like, oh no, look, yeah, it says it's not due until the 7th. And I'm like, yeah, so that's because you guys are just defaulted to a fail safe there. So that's not really a true projection of when it should get here. I said, if you look through it, you can see it got to Brisbane on Friday morning. And if you know Australia, then you'll know that going from Brisbane to Townsville up to here is a 1-day hop. I said, no matter how incompetent you are, it's a 1-day hop. So anyway, yeah, I saw different terms for UPS, like useless parcel service or United pile of shit, stuff like that. So yeah, they're really not in my good books right now. It'd be okay if they would say to me, you know what, yeah, that's kind of out of whack, so let's go sort that out. But nah, it's the usual sort of bullshit, the usual sort of firewalling of like, here, sir, listen to this boilerplate message that we have for you, and we are very sorry that this and that. This sort of thing kills small companies. I mean, you try the best you can to insulate yourself from this sort of crap. Um, you know that the universe has a habit of, if you've got something important, then it's going to screw it up. It's like if you need to print out a report and you've got 3 minutes left, then that printer is going to die one way or another, or the network's going to die, or something's going to go wrong. When I was doing model aircraft shipping, and then when I was doing, just the model aircraft shipping, um, getting stuff back and forth on the couriers was just an absolute bloody nightmare at the best of times. And you just sort of, you either got to have a lot of money, very low blood pressure, or something to be able to deal with this situation. And there's nothing you can do to the couriers. There's nothing you can do to the postal service. You have no power to have any change imparted on these people. Yeah, you can boycott one company, but if you look at the reviews for any of these courier companies, they all are the same. Every single one of them, it's the same thing. It's like, I'm never going to use this company ever again. I'm going to use another company. They're much better. But then you go to the other company, it's exactly the same reviews. So it's irrelevant. It's just like politicians. There's no way you can really get to them unless you're already in that area, in which case you're probably going to be protecting your own butt. So you're losing no matter what happens. Yeah, nothing legally you can do about it. I mean, and they do state on their forms that they are not liable for any indirect or whatever consequences. And I get that. That's understandable. I mean, I wouldn't like that sort of legal risk on me either. Like if I'm working on an iPhone and just through pure bad luck, and God knows we all have it, something goes wrong and it never comes on again just because you were doing a battery replacement. It's bad luck. And if you were to be held accountable for incidental consequences or whatever, then all of us would be out of business straight away. But the postal services, the couriers, politicians, they've just got too much of a firewall between them. You really can't do anything. I have lost thousands of dollars due to the postal network, and that is with insurance on my packages as well. It's like, you may as well not even insure things, because maybe one time out of 10, or maybe even 25% of the time, you might get something back, but you'll almost never get all your money back, and you'll probably spend more time you waste more time than what that money's worth trying to track it down. It's just that, it's that anguish, you want to get in there and you want to rip someone's head off for the trouble that they're causing you. But the trouble is they put the support staff there, and you can't really blame the support staff. They're just doing their job. But the people you want to really get your hands on, they're the ones behind the scenes. You're never going to get your hands on those people. It looks like the hard drive's doing alright. We're sitting at 103 megabyte. We're at 75 gigs so far, so that's looking pretty good. Yeah, it looks like I've probably made everyone run and hide now. Yeah, I gotta admit, it's pretty boring. Um, I have to confess I caved as well, and there's a company in Australia called Mectronics, and they offer really good prices on things like Hako gear, pace gear, all that sort of stuff. Uh, they had the Hako 951 on special today for 393 or something like that. So I ended up buying that along with two tips, the J02 tip or something like that, and then a 1.2 millimeter chisel tip. Chisel, yeah, chisel. So that's kind of put me back a little bit in terms of finances, but I didn't want to really miss out on the opportunity, and I thought I've got the microscope coming, and I've managed to have a good week last week, so there is a bit of money there, but it's so I took the chance, and hopefully it'll pay off pretty quickly. Because right now I don't have a soldering iron that has a J-type tip for me to use, which makes it hard or harder to deal with things like those ISL 9625s, whatever they are, the QFN chips, trying to clean up the legs on that. Yeah, so it was a good deal, and it comes with the I can't remember the handle now, the standard handle, the 2027 or something, 2028. Tempted to buy an FX at 951, especially after last week's earnings, but I must resist. Yeah, well, maybe more power to you for having the strength to say no, because I sure as heck didn't. I think I sat all morning on that and like, come on, Paul, don't press the button, and I still pressed it. What really helped was that I'm just going to rid of that. What really helped was that they took PayPal. So I was like, nah. As soon as I saw PayPal there, I thought that's it. That's a done deal. I'm click, because with PayPal, with the way things work with my bank at the moment, most of the time they don't take the money out until the evening, and if you don't have enough money in your bank account when they take that out, then the sale doesn't get cancelled. So far as the seller is concerned, they've got their money, and they have. And so PayPal now has to deal with getting the money off you. So if you don't have the money in the account, then you probably get hit. I think it's about a $10 penalty, and that's usually imposed by the bank itself in this case. But I've got the money coming in, so even if I don't have quite enough to make it through to tonight in PayPal, then it'll be there tomorrow anyway. I can't go down to. Everybody's giving me cash today for their jobs that they're picking up, so I can't go down to the bank because it's a local public holiday because of the town show. Now, I hate the show. It's like disease central down there. Every time they come into town, they bring along something from down south, and it's just. Uh, it's one of those things where it's more a tradition type thing, but every year it's getting weaker and weaker, and maybe one day they'll stop bothering to come here. Press the button, new tools are always great. Oh, of course, I mean, new tools are always the best. I mean, I should have put a million other things on there, but I still have to pay for it. So that ended up being 500 Australian dollars for me to pick up the Hako with two tips, and is that right? It was a bit less than that, the price they had on there was without GST. GST is Australia's 10% goods and service tax, which is actually quite a small amount compared to a lot of other countries. I don't have a problem with it. Probably the worst thing I had with GST is on my side, because as I collect money from people, I have to put aside that 10% for the government. And of course, who does that? I don't know, but I spend it, and then the end of the 3 months comes along, and I've like got my bill, and I'm like, whoops, yeah, better cough up that money. So I'm always playing catch up on that, but that should soon change. Now we've got the microscope coming, we've got the new soldering stations coming. The other local business in town has closed down. I went past the other day, and they've definitely closed down. There was a truck out there, and they were loading up all their shelving and X stock and stuff like that. So that's it, they're gone. And I have noticed it on my accounting already. It's like normally, well, put it this way, while they were here, I was down to about 2/3 of what I normally was. And that extra third was enough to make things hurt. I had to go into a sort of a survival mode for the last 12 months. And yeah, so I could just pay the bills. I could just keep us going. I was sort of slipping back a little tiny bit. And it was an unfortunate thing because I knew this was going to happen, but it was a case of just simply didn't get enough time. I was trying to put aside and prepare for the eventuality, and it sort of happened before I had a chance to properly get there. Now they've gone, I can try and catch up again. I'm able to now diversify the business, mail orders, things like that. Things that now will prevent me from being affected so much by another person coming into town and setting up phone repair or screen repair business. So holding off. My FX 888D does a good job. Maybe I'll be cheap and get a new tip. Well, I mean, this my RX 711. It's basically a Hacko 900 tip series in at 900M, and I've got a few tips, and I order a few more tips probably. It's the sleeve over the heater element there. And these good ones, they're good. I do enjoy using them, but like I said, I can't get a J tip for these, at least not in Australia. And pardon me, the one that I saw they did have isn't really a J tip. It's more of an angled tip. It's like the 0.8mm diameter, sort of thin snout, and then it's bent off at an angle. It's not really the same thing. So I'll keep that handy. It is still a good machine. It has been with me for 12 years, so I'm happy with it. Hey, handy parts. The other one I've got, which is my 100-watt iron, that's this is really good. It's a very similar sort of thing. I found I can get a whole bunch of tips for like $20. It's a bargain. But again, it's the whole barrel and sleeve type thing. So it's got this sort of tip. So I've ordered a replacement 1.2 and a 0.8 for that. It should do pretty well actually with a 0.8 and 100 watts behind it. Whereas I find with the Goot, it's got 65 watts and it just doesn't quite have enough power to get through with the 0.8 tip. Oh. Right now, there's no competition for me. There was one shop doing board repairs, but he started slowly outsourcing all the board repairs to you. That's a good way to go. 300,000 people in the area. Yeah, TCRS, I'm not really in a similar situation. The town of Townsville has about 250,000 people in it. Within our greater area, let's say within 200-kilometer radius, that'd easily be 350,000, maybe 300,000, let's say. So I've got a pretty good market that I can tap from. And there's not a large number of people doing this sort of thing, at least that I've been able to see. Everyone's down in Sydney or Melbourne. No one's really up here in the north. So it's not as big a market, like I don't have millions of people to draw from, but it's a big enough market to sustain me, and there is only so much work I can do in a given day. I would consider it a weakness perhaps, but I don't really at this point have the personality to, how could you say, hand off work to others. I have employees or anything like that. I prefer to be a sole trader as I am now. That naturally inherently limits me to, or limits my income to whatever I can generate myself in a day, rather than being able to farm it out and make even more. I should be more entrepreneurish and farm it out and basically sit back and do nothing while everyone else does the hard work. It's just not me. I'll probably get bored. Patrick, Townsville, my hometown. Yes, gotta love Townsville. I do love it. I want to get back there, but I got to get a bit richer before I do. 131 gigs. What is this? This is a 750 gig hard drive. It is an odd hard drive. I hate the odd size hard drives like 750, 1.5 terabyte, all those sort of things where they've dropped a side or a platter or a head or something to make it make it happen. I might let it run, or maybe I won't. I mean, with these things, there's no guarantee that just because the first 150 or 200 gigs are all error-free and running at the right speed, there's no guarantee that the next gigabyte isn't going to have a fault on it. If you go 40 miles, there's plenty of competition, including Apple. Those are the worst. I presume you mean the 750s and 1.5 terabyte drives. I'm going to refresh my... I really would have expected it to be landed in Townsville by now. What is the time? It's 4:30. It's got to be getting close. I'm also waiting for a call from UPS because they said, we'll call you tomorrow by 6 o'clock latest. I'm not expecting them to do. And what are they going to tell me? Oh, we're very sorry. There was a misrouting or something, and it should be there by the end of the week. And it's like, well, that's not fucking useful to me. It's like I paid $300-400 Australian for the extra freight, and United States Postal Service is going to beat you. Can you tell the manufacturer of a hard drive by its sound? I actually don't know. Maybe some people can. I know I certainly can't because I can't hear properly. I mean, I would say more, you could perhaps tell a specific model, perhaps. Yeah, certain models have little weird grinding noises. But I'd say, as a rule, no, I wouldn't like to put my money on being able to tell what brand of hard drive it is by the sound. Should try that for solid state drive. Can you tell what brand of solid state drive this is by the sound it makes? At the best, you'd probably be able to, if you could listen in on the EMF stuff, you could probably work out what controller it's got. But yeah, not much else. I'm going to let this run. The reason why I'm going to let this run is because I don't have to do anything. I've got some other stuff I need to do. And at least if it's cleared through, it does a clean pass, then I know I can get on with the other issues. This may simply just be a case of, as the battery was flat when I looked at it, it may be a case of the person shut it down or it ran out of battery power at the wrong moment and it created a bad Windows update. I can hear Seagate from across the room. Yeah, but is that when it's had its bearing fail and it's like a... Because, yeah, I mean, yeah. I can hear Death Stars when they start clicking away. That's a terrible sound to hear. Western Digitals have a really unique metallic noise. Okay. Well, joy to all you people who can actually hear things. That'd be nice. What particular scope did I order? I got the scope. Let me find it. I didn't get as many features as I wanted because I was trying to keep the price down and I figured I could add them in later. Okay, this is... Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is it. Okay, just add it into the... Here we go. Okay. Alright, this is the one. So I pretty much got it like that, and now ruined everything. Yep, it does not like being compressed that much. There we go. Too far. Come back up. There we go. Yeah, so the main thing being there's no Barlow on this, and it has the high-end variable LED setup. Obviously being the twin boom. It's a trinocular simulfocal, but that's it. So it's very bare bones. But I figured I can get the camera later, I can get the Barlow later. I'll probably go for the 0.7 Barlow, and I can get them from China directly. So I need to update my description links things to point to this one, so at least then it's sort of more, okay, I actually do have and use this one. Personally, I was going to be happy with just a single boom arm option, and that would have saved a little bit of money. But in the end, after talking to a few people, I went for the dual boom. The only thing is with the dual boom, I'm going to have to change those booms. I can't. My pointer not show up. I don't think the pointer shows up when I do this. Oh well. Boy. But the dual booms on that, they're soft metal, so I'm going to have to change them to case hardened shafts. They're also smaller than they should be. They should be 20mm diameter. They're usually around about 19.8. Doesn't sound like a lot, but that 0.2 mil with the weight involved and the extension will cause probably about a ½ inch of slop if you wiggle it up and down. So fortunately, there is the upside of a mining town, is there's a lot of machinist shops around here. So I'll get them to machine me a replacement pair of case hardened booms. Jealous of your scope now. Now I know how you feel when you saw mine. Yeah, basically. Yeah. But of course, you've got yours. I'm still waiting for mine. Well, Alright, I'm going to leave it up here. This is just going to keep running. And like I said, I'll examine what's going on afterwards. At least it doesn't look like it should be a physical failure. I think it's more a case of someone just stuffed up the Windows updates. Particularly too that around here, I don't know whether Microsoft does this regionally or not, but I've had quite a lot of machines doing the creators update of Windows, and of course that's, what is that, 1.4 gigs or something like that, and it causes a lot of confusion with people. Alright, I'm out of here. I will come back with a live stream probably when I get the microscope, and that will probably be a disaster, but it should be amusing at least. Until then, take care. I'll see you guys next time.